How SQL joins works, there are few types of joins that exist in the SQL system. That is inner join, outer join, left join, right outer join, left outer join, and there are many more ways you can join a lot of tables. But do you really know how they work? In this video, I'm going to teach you about like how the joins works and what they are and why they are so useful. So basically, I have a sheet prepared, which actually explains how the joins work. So these are mainly 5 different joins that we can use, but they can be leveraged in different ways that we have. So let's go through like how many joins we can have in SQL. So I'm going to go into the deeper part after some time, but let's walk through like how many different time joins exist in the SQL. So the first one is inner join. This is the classic one a lot of people use it. The second one is left join. The third one is right join, and the fourth one is full outer join, and the last one is cross join. So I'm going to walk you through all of these 5 different joins in this video, where you can understand how the joins work and how you can leverage these joins to upskill your knowledge about SQL. So let's start with the first one. Cool. So now SQL joins. So I'm going to take an example of 2 tables. These are 2 tables, users and orders. So I'm going to take the example of these 2 tables. These table contain the user table contain one users John with ID 1. The second row is Sarah with ID 2. The third row is Mike with ID 3. And there's a second table which has a foreign key of user ID. So foreign key is a very different thing. I can walk you through the different type of keys in the next video. In the upcoming video, which I'm currently working on, I will walk you through all kind of keys available in SQL and how to use them. But here we are going to discuss like how we can use the joins. Now this order table is like 2 different IDs. These IDs are like one user ID. It has an order ID of 101, and then the second user ID has an order of 102. So the Sarah ID is second and the John ID is first. Now Sarah and John has orders, but Mike does not have any orders, right? Mike don't have any order. Now let's see what we can do with the inner joins. So let me just clean this mess and walk you through the inner joins. Now how inner joins work. So inner joins is basically a kind of a join in which you can join 2 different tables. These table can be joined based on some foreign key. So here is the inner join. It only matching rows can be joined with the inner join. If you don't have any kind of matching row, cannot be joined. So this is the first thing. If there's missing data, if there's any missing data in between 2 tables, if it does not have any matching rows, it will not fetch it. And these inner join is like the most commonly used join in SQL. So here's taking an example of this query. So this query says select username. So let me just divide this screen and help you explain. So this query says select username order ID from users. So there is one table users and there is another table orders. Okay. So these are the 2 tables. Now it is selecting one column from user. It is selecting one column from user, which is a username, and the second column from ID orders, sorry, which is ID. So order ID and username from the table user. So this query is going to perform from users. So we are performing a query operation from users and fetching the name ID from users. Now it is using the word inner join. Inner joins means it is going to join on some part of the column, which is orders table. So on the orders table, there is another column. So it is doing inner join orders. Okay. So orders. So it is joining the user ID on orders. And let me mention, wait. So it is using the user ID and the orders user ID. So it is joining on the user ID. So it is joining on the user's ID. Now what we see is when it is joining on the user ID, that means that these 2 tables are currently being joined on the basis of these IDs. So these IDs are connected. That means John will have one order in the final query. Sarah will have one order in the final query. But since Mike does not have any order, so it will not fetch any data for Mike. Now, if it does not fetch any data, how the table is going to look like? The table looks like this. So it prepared a new query. New table. You see that it selected name and ID. So when it selected the name and the ID, so orders, ID of the orders and the name of the users. So name of the user is this and the ID of the order is. So that's how inner join works. So it fetches commonly data which are available across the table, but it ignores rest of the data, which does not have any connection. Now let's see how the left join works. So I need to clean up this. I need to clean this up first. Now let's see how left join works. So we will take the example of the second table again. Let me just clean this up, and then we will take the example of this table. Let me flip a new page, and how left join works. So the common property of left join is it keep all left table rows. So there, as you see, there are two tables, right? There are two tables. So the common thing is that it keeps the left table rows, all the left table rows, we keep it. So left table rows. So it will keep all of them. The second thing is unmatched rows become null. So if there are no matching null rows, it will still keep it, but it will mark it as null. So it will keep the unmatched rows as well. And then it will keep the useful. I mean, it is very useful for reports since you are going to use it for all the rows, and even if this is not available. So let's see how the query actually works. So let's see how the query works. So these are the two queries. And in these two queries, we are going to, I mean, these are one queries, but we are going to see how these is picking those two columns, username and order IDs. So first one column, your table is users. So we see that there is a user column, sorry, the ID column and the name column. And there are two tables, orders and users. So it is picking the left join. It is doing a query on users table. So it is doing all the queries on the users table, and it is doing a left join on orders. Okay, so left join on orders means that the left table, it says that unmatched row, and it keeps the table left rows table, keep all the left table rows. So if you pay attention to this line, it keeps all the left table rows. That means this is the left table, right? Users is the left table. So it is going to keep all the rows even if the data is not available. So it is going to fetch all the data for the left table. And now since it is doing left join orders, user ID and order ID. So in the same way, if you match this query, I don't think there's any difference. There's only difference of the left keyword and the inner keyword. So the inner keyword does not have the unmatched rows, but the left keyword does have it exists on the table output, but it will keep it as null. So as you can see, the result says the same thing, that it has like John has one order, Sarah has one order, but Mike does not have any order, but still it keeps that third row, but it is null. Now let's take a look at the right join. Let me clean this up again. Now let's see how right joins work. So you need to understand how right joins work as well, because right join is kind of, I would say, kind of a tricky thing. It might look like the inner join in the result, but it is not. So the right joins means it will keep all the right table rows. Okay, it is gonna keep all the right table rows, just opposite of the left table row, and unmatched rows from left. If there are any unmatched rows from the left side, then it will also keep that. It will become null, just like the right table, and opposite of left join. Correct. So it is just like the left join. It just keep this null. It will try to keep it on null on the right side if there is no matching order. So in our case, it selected username, order ID, user, right joins. So if you pay attention to this one, it says right join orders on user ID, where orders dot user ID. Okay, so it does say orders dot user ID. So that means it is going to pick all the rows from the left right hand side, and is going to ignore the left side table if the data does not exist on the right. So there are two. If you look at the table, there are only two orders. Mike does not have any order. So since Mike does not have any order, there's no rows, only two rows output. So it keeps all the left table, all the right table, and the matching rows, but it ignores all the left options. Just opposite of the left join. So this is how the right join works. Now let's go through the full auto join. Now full auto join is for keeping everything, whatever it is matches, if it is non-matches, it just try to keep everything. So it keeps everything. It also keeps unmatched rows. So unmatched rows will be there on both sides. And if there's no rows matching, then it will just mark it null, but it will keep the rows from both sides. So both side means it is gonna keep everything, and just make the rows null if the data is not available either on either side. Then it is gonna make it null. Now let's see. Select users order ID from users. So we are going to have the same query. There's only one difference. If you notice it, the only difference is the full auto join. There's the only difference of the keyword in these queries. It is like full auto join now. Earlier it was like right join. Before that it was left join. Now it is auto join. So if you pay attention to the query, it says the same thing. users.id equals orders.user id, and keep the same user id name and this, and full auto join on orders. So since it has done full auto join on order, it's gonna keep all the rows as suggested. So what did it say? It say that it keeps all the unmatched rows from both sides. So if it's keeping all the unmatched rows from the both sides, then it's going to keep all the data. And from the table, if you see, there are two tables. It has like three data, and orders have two data. But if you see on the full auto join, it keeps all the data. So John, Sarah, Mike, order 101, 102, 103. Sorry, no, because Mike does not have any data, of course. And this is how the table looks like that. So it will keep all the right table join, table join, and the medium one, the middle one, which is like matching query. It keeps everything. Okay. So that's how the full outer join works. So let me just walk you through the last one, which is really, really important because it is really useful, but it is not used industry wide. I mean, not a lot of people use it because most of the work is resolved with the right join or left join. We don't need the full auto join a lot, and the cross join is really, really helpful, but it can mess things very quickly. So cross join, it's really important. You need to understand cross join is really important. Even if you're working in industry or you are going for an exam in college, cross join is pretty important because you need to understand how it works, and it is really, really dangerous thing to have this kind of join on large data set tables. So it matches every row with every row. So it tries to keep every row with every row. So that kind of makes sense because this is a cross join. So it will cross join with everything, right? So it keeps every row with every row. It creates combination. It actually, I mean, when you use a cross join, it is not like if there's a table matching, then oh, let's keep it. But it is like, oh, let's create a combination. We can keep everything, right? So it is going to keep everything. It is not something like it is not going to keep anything. So it is going to keep everything. And this is really, really dangerous. This is really, really dangerous on large tables. If you have a very large data set and you run the cross join, it is going to mess things up. So cross join is like messing things. It is right. It can mess things really, really easily. So why it mess things really easily? Let me explain you. So cross join. It can, if you have like two tables with multiple columns, let's say this one is orders and this one is users. So if you have table with multiple columns, the cross join does not see like if there's a matching row, then let's output this table, right? It does not say like that. Okay. What it does instead is it actually tries it actually mess things up. How it mess things up, you need to understand that. So what it does is if you have so if you have these two tables, 1, 2, 3, 4 orders and 4 users, and 101, 102, 103, 104. Okay. So it does cross join with every row. So it is, you will see that there are 8 tables, but even if I mention this, it might end up joining like every rows may become like, if I cross join, the output will be something like one user with 4 orders, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Something like this. This is how cross joins works. Like this mess things, and it will do same thing for 102, 10 for the second user, for the third user, for the fourth user. It cross joins every rows, and the output will be like, it will give an output of like 16 rows combined, like 4 into 4. Just keep an idea of like how does 4 into 4 work. So 4 into 4 equals 16. So it will do the 16 rows output. If there are 3 rows, if you take them out like 2 rows from here, if you remove this, so it will just, the output will be like 3 into 3, and that will be 9 rows. So these kind of things happen with the cross join. That's why cross joins are really dangerous on large table, because it's gonna give you an output that is really, really huge, and you should not be using cross join on the large table unless it is really important to do that. So it is dangerous, right? It's not you need to be careful. Actually, you need to be careful when you use it. So let's see how it works. So we are going to use username and order ID, user, and join orders. Okay, cross join orders. So we are doing cross join, and you see we don't have to give any kind of like condition. Like you have any condition or not? No, there's no condition. So we do not give any condition, and you see the how the output is. like there were like only three users and two orders, right? Three users and two orders, but still the output ended up in six rows. That is really big. So it does it. What it does is 3 to 2. So John with order ID, this John with order ID, even the Sarah order ID is like connected to John because of the cross join, Sarah join, and then Mike, who does not have any order, has still got two orders. So congratulations, Mike, you got two orders. Now, what it does is it gave like six output rows. This is how the pattern looks like. That it is going to join every rows with every row. That's how the cross join works. Now, I hope I was able to explain everything about the join. If you have any question, you can ask it in the comment section. But let me give you a quick takeaway, which I have. So you need to understand the inner join. Inner join only matches whatever only shows data whatever matches. Left join only shows data whatever left matches plus left join. That is, it's gonna make null. Right join is the opposite of left join. It's gonna make things on right and keep the left on null. Full joins is like all possible row matches will be the output, and cross join is like every possible combination that exists in both tables. That's how it works. So you need to understand that. So there's a tip where use left join when you want to keep all the record from the main table. So that's why we always use left join. Inner join is like rarely used because whenever we do query, so industry wide, whenever we do queries, what we do is we make the left table as a primary table and keep the as a main table as a primary table in the joins, and keep the order. The next joining table as the right table. So we mostly use left join. There are some cases where we might use right join or maybe inner join, but I rarely used full auto join. I never used cross join. We never had to. I'm not sure who uses cross join, but yeah, we never had to use cross join. So yeah, so this was all about the joins. Let me know how the videos look like and how if you want to learn something else about SQL. I'm gonna make more videos on how we can work with keys, how we can learn more things about SQL, and why it is so important to keep learning SQL in the age of AI. AI is going to take over everything, but I think the SQL is the only thing, the database is the only thing that might keep you safe if you learn it really properly. So I hope this video helps you out in learning SQL. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so that it gives me enough fuel. Subscription kind of like a fuel for me. So if you get this subscribe button, I will get more fuel to make more videos. So thank you for watching the video. I'll come up with the next video with next idea.